It shouldn't be possible. A probe launched nearly half a century ago, running on ancient circuits and whispering through the darkness, is still talking to us. Voyager 1 has been gone longer than most of us have been alive. It's so far away that sunlight takes more than 22 hours just to reach it. And yet, we still hear its voice. A faint signal, a flicker of code, a heartbeat that has crossed the stars. This is not just a story about technology, it's a story about connection, the most distant conversation in human history. The year was 1977, the same summer Star Wars hit theaters. NASA launched two identical spacecraft, Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, on a journey no one had ever attempted. Their mission was simple but daring: visit the outer planets, study them up close, and then, if fate allowed, venture into interstellar space. Voyager 1's golden trajectory took it past Jupiter and Saturn. It captured volcanic eruptions on the Io, the shimmering rings of Saturn, and moons that no one had ever known existed. By 1980, its planetary tour was over, but instead of dying there, it did something no spacecraft had ever done before. It kept on going, farther. It fired its thrusters one last time, broke free of the sun's gravity, and drifted into the unknown. From that moment on, Voyager 1 became something else entirely, the first emissary of humanity to leave the solar system. Today, Voyager 1 is more than 24 billion kilometers from Earth. That number is almost meaningless, it's just too big to imagine. If you traveled at the speed of a commercial jet, it would take over 80,000 years to reach it. Even light, the fastest thing in the universe, takes nearly 22.5 hours to make the trip one way. When we send a command, Voyager 1 won't even hear it until almost a day later. Then, we wait another day to find out if it worked. It's like trying to have a conversation with someone on the other side of time itself. And yet, despite that distance, the line between us and Voyager remains unbroken. A radio signal so faint it's almost imaginary still travels back and forth across the void. Voyager's transmitter is weaker than a refrigerator light bulb, about 20 watts. By the time that radio wave reaches Earth, it's 20 billion times weaker than the electrical noise inside your phone's charger. It's almost nothing, but almost is enough. NASA's Deep Space Network, or DSN, catches it, a global array of massive antennas stretching across the Earth, one in Goldstone, California, another in Madrid, Spain, and a third in Canberra, Australia. Together, they form a triangle that never stops listening. Each dish is up to 70 meters wide, sensitive enough to detect a single photon of light from beyond the solar system. Their job is to do the impossible: isolate Voyager's fading heartbeat from the endless static of the cosmos. The DSN is the quietest room on Earth, except it's the size of continents. At any given moment, one of its antennas is turned toward the black, tracking Voyager's location with unimaginable precision. Engineers monitor the Doppler shift of its frequency to know its speed and distance down to the fraction of a millimeter per second. When Voyager sends data, like cosmic ray counts, plasma readings, or magnetometer values, it's encoded in binary, streams of 1's and 0's. The DSN receives them as faint ripples in radio waves, translates them into digital signals, and then sends them to NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in California. There, the data is decoded, cleaned, and transformed into something readable: numbers, charts, and whispers from interstellar space. It's not fast. Voyager 1's data rate is 160 bits per second, slower than a 1980s modem. But every bit counts. Every tiny signal is a message from a frontier no human has ever seen. Voyager doesn't rely on solar power. Out there, sunlight is too weak to be useful. Instead, it runs on plutonium-238 inside 3 radioisotope thermoelectric generators, RTGs. As the plutonium decays, it releases heat, which the spacecraft converts into electricity. At launch, those RTGs produced around 470 watts of power. Today, after nearly 50 years, they generate less than half of that. NASA's engineers had to make brutal choices, turning off instruments one by one to conserve energy. The heaters that once kept Voyager warm have gone silent. Cameras were shut down decades ago. Now, only a few scientific instruments remain: the magnetometer, the plasma wave detector, the cosmic ray subsystem. Each one is a tiny window into the galaxy beyond the Sun, and yet, even as its power fades, Voyager continues to endure. Its heart, its nuclear core, still beats. Every time we speak to Voyager, it's like aiming a laser through a fog. A narrow radio beam, carefully tuned, leaves the DSN and races outward at the speed of light. It crosses the orbits of Mars, Jupiter, Neptune, until finally, 22 hours later, it brushes the antenna of a spacecraft the size of a small car, floating in the dark. Voyager's high-gain antenna, 3.7 meters wide, catches the signal, interprets the command, and responds. Then, its own transmitter fires back. 2 days after the initial command, that reply finally arrives on Earth. It's an interstellar handshake, one that takes nearly 2 days to complete, a fragile thread of contact stretched across 24 billion kilometers. Communicating with Voyager isn't just about physics, it's archaeology. Its computers run on 8-track memory systems, the same kind used in 1970s cars for playing music. Its processor operates at a speed of just 2,000 instructions per second, millions of times slower than your phone. The original engineers who built it have long retired. Some have passed away. So, when Voyager develops a problem, today's NASA team has to dig through handwritten blueprints and decades-old manuals, trying to understand technology that has not existed for generations. In 2024, a glitch corrupted Voyager's telemetry data. Suddenly, the spacecraft started sending unreadable signals, like a patient speaking in broken code. For months, engineers worked through ancient documents, reprogramming from memory, guessing at what could have gone wrong. Finally, after endless nights, they found the error. On a quiet morning, a clean signal returned, telemetry restored. Voyager was alive again. That success wasn't just a technical triumph, it was a reminder, even across the coldest distances, persistence can reach the impossible. Voyager 1 has crossed beyond the heliosphere, the invisible bubble of particles blown by our Sun. It now drifts through interstellar space, where the environment is ruled not by solar wind, but by the raw pressure of the galaxy itself. Its instruments detect cosmic rays that no other probe has ever felt. It measures the density of plasma between stars. It listens to the faint hum of the Milky Way. The data it sends home is precious because Voyager 1 is the only active spacecraft beyond the Sun's influence. Every number it transmits helps us understand how our solar system interacts with the rest of the galaxy. It's the first explorer to truly leave home. When Voyager was built, scientists added something special, a message for the future, the Golden Record. A gold-plated copper disc, sealed in a protective case, designed to last 1 billion years. On it, 115 images of life on Earth, sounds of thunder, waves, laughter, music from Beethoven, Bach and Chuck Berry, and greetings in 55 human languages, alongside one in whale song. Etched into its surface are instructions for how to play it in universal scientific symbols. It's our cosmic calling card, our way of saying we were here. Even after Voyager's battery dies, that record will continue to travel, silently orbiting the Milky Way for eons. If someone or something finds it, they'll hear our story, the sound of our oceans, the heartbeat of our species. The day will come when the signal fades. The RTGs will cool, the instruments will go dark, and Voyager will stop speaking. When that happens, the Deep Space Network will listen for a while longer, hoping, just maybe, for one last whisper. But even silence has meaning, because long after Earth's cities crumble, Voyager will still be out there, sailing among the stars. It will pass nearby stars in 40,000 years. In 1 million years, it will drift through new constellations. In 1 billion, it might still be intact. It will outlast every monument and memory humanity has ever made. So, why do we keep the antennas pointed skyward? Why spend resources maintaining contact with a spacecraft that can barely whisper back? Because Voyager 1 isn't just a machine, it's a mirror, a reflection of what we are when we reach our best, curious, patient, unstoppable. Every faint signal it sends reminds us that our voices can cross the impossible, that the distance between stars is not just physical, it's emotional too. And as long as we're listening, we are not alone. The world has changed beyond recognition since 1977, but Voyager hasn't stopped calling home. Its tiny heartbeat is proof that no distance is too far for human curiosity. Someday, the Deep Space Network will lose Voyager's signal. The screen will show silence, but the story won't end there. Because, out in the black, beyond the stars, our voice continues. That faint transmission, born from a spark of human wonder, will keep traveling. Forever outward, forever alive. It will never find an end. And that, perhaps, is the most human thing of all.